episode of the Football Stop on YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking about the World Cup in Qatar, so that's 2022. I'm going to be talking specifically about England and my starting 11, or who I believe will be in the starting 11. Now you might be thinking, well, that's got no relevance to soccer cards, but actually one thing I do is have my eyes focused on the big major tournaments, so particularly the World Cups, because that's when the eyes of the world are on soccer. For me, this is a real opportunity to pick out cards that are going to pick up in pace, pick up in interest. So for me, these are the players from the England team that you really need to keep an eye out for and kind of build up, add to your portfolio, add to your collection, so you can sell them when the big tournaments come around. So without further ado, let's go. So right before I get started in going through the starting 11, I think it's important to point out that Gareth Southgate, he's the manager of England, tends to play a certain formation, and obviously that impacts on the players that we can select. As much as I'd like to fit in Raheem Sterling, Jadon Sancho, Harry Kane, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Phil Foden, all the really attacking players, you can't actually fit them all into the first starting 11, or you'd have a pretty attacking team anyway, so just bear that in mind. Unfortunately, some of those are going to have to miss out on my starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on that as we go along. So first up, obviously, it's the goalkeepers. And traditionally, they're pretty boring when it comes to soccer cards. You certainly won't be investing in goalkeepers, at least the majority wouldn't, unless you're a real collector of goalkeepers. In England's case, it's probably going to be Jordan Pickford that gets the #1 jersey. He played for England in Russia, he did really well. He's been a bit more erratic for Everton in recent times, which may bring his position into question. But really, the only person that is going to challenge him is probably Dean Henderson, who is currently at Sheffield United on loan from Manchester United. He's putting pressure on David De Gea. He's a brilliant goalkeeper. He's had a brilliant season. But like I said, you probably won't be investing in either of these two or looking to flip either of these two. A bit like goalkeepers, investing in centre-backs is pretty boring, so I'm going to fly over these two positions pretty quickly. In my opinion, the centre-backs for England for 2022 will be Harry Maguire, who's currently at Manchester United, alongside Joe Gomez, who is currently at Liverpool. For me, they would be the best partnership. I think Harry Maguire has the physicality and presence, whereas Joe Gomez is a bit speedy to make up for the fact that Harry Maguire is slow. Like I said, not exciting. Personally, I don't invest in the cards, but they're the two that I think will start for England. Now we've got the left back and the right back positions, and you might be thinking, well, they're still defenders, typically quite boring, people don't spend money on them. But actually, we've seen a real shift in buying habits, in what people are buying, definitely in terms of soccer cards. And that's been very much led by one of England's players, one of the players that's probably going to start and will definitely make my starting 11. That is, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold will no doubt play right wing-back position for the England team. He plays for Liverpool, he's had a fantastic season, he's good defensively, and I think the reason people are buying his cards and getting a bit more engaged in his soccer cards are because he has that attacking flair, he scores goals, he definitely creates a lot of goals, he's as good going forward as he is defending, and like I said, it's a real kind of change in terms of people's attitudes to defenders. His cards are literally selling right now. The most popular seems to be the Topps Chrome Champions League card, but he also has a Panini Optic, which is also quite highly priced in terms of a defender's soccer card. On the left side of defence, I think it'll probably be Ben Chilwell that takes the spot for England. He does have some pressure with Luke Shaw at Manchester United and another young Manchester United player in Brandon Williams, who may yet come on leaps and bounds over the next few years. But I think generally it's probably going to be Ben Chilwell. He's at Leicester City at the moment. There are rumours linking him to Manchester United. There are rumours linking him to Chelsea, but whether that happens, who knows. So we've got the central midfield, and like I said, Southgate tends to prefer a 4-5-1 formation. So when it comes to his central midfield, he has one holding midfielder or a more defensive player, and then two central midfielders that kind of play box to box or slightly more attacking than that defensive player. In my opinion, defensive midfielders, very similar to centre-backs, just don't seem to get much attention. They don't score goals. They may set up a few, but traditionally they just don't sell. So in terms of making profit off their cards, certainly not one that I end up buying. Nonetheless, I will make a point of selecting someone for my England team, and in my opinion, it will be Jordan Henderson. Now you might be thinking, well, Jordan Henderson's not really a defensive midfielder, but given that the World Cup is a few years away, Jordan Henderson is already 30 years old. He's definitely going to be coming towards the back end of his career. I still think he's a vital player for England, and therefore I think Southgate will pull him back. Ultimately, that means Eric Dyer and Declan Rice, two players that may currently be favourites for that position, may miss out. But I think Jordan Henderson will get the central defensive midfield position. That means that we can have 2 more attacking central midfielders. And again, over the last week, my thoughts on this have kind of changed. England have a really strong team, or have a really strong squad that will go to the 2022 World Cup. So selecting the first 11 is difficult. For me, I've opted for Phil Foden on the basis that his current performances for Man City have been incredible. He's probably been one of their best players since the Premier League restart. And if that continues, then you have to have him in the starting 11. However, this relies very much on him playing regular football in the Premiership, and that's something to watch with Phil Foden. If he doesn't, then fingers crossed he moves and goes to another top club in the Premiership or abroad, because he certainly needs to be in that starting 11 in terms of ability. When looking at Phil Foden's cards, obviously you've got the Panini Donruss Optic, which is the rated rookie. That's 100% his rookie. The price of that in recent weeks has absolutely blown up. I expect it to come down slightly, but not significantly. So if you can get hold of one, do it. An alternative, if you are someone that's new to market and doesn't want to spend that amount of money on Phil Foden's cards, is to consider his Panini sticker from the Premier League 2020 collection. But like his Optic card, this is already increasing in price quite quickly. So who goes next to Foden? That's a really difficult one, and again I've juggled with a few names, and I've actually decided that I think the player that will play will be James Maddison at Leicester City. He's another attacking player. He's been really good for Leicester over the last few years, and in terms of his soccer card, you can pick up his rookie in the Premier League Panini Prism soccer card collection. That means that someone like Jack Grealish might miss out. There are a lot of other players that I think people may prefer, but that, like I said, this is just my opinion. So now we're getting to the really exciting part, aren't we? The bit everyone's been waiting for. Who do I think are going to be the front 3 for the England squad at Qatar 2022? Like I said, Southgate will play with an attacking left-sided player, an attacking right-sided player, and he tends to opt for a central forward. I'm going to start with a centre forward. Now, irrespective of what happens with Mason Greenwood, who I feel like I need to give a mention to, the guy's an incredible talent. Harry Kane, providing he's fit, will start for England in 2022. Surely there can be no question over that. He's the captain for England. He's a prolific striker. He's physical. He's a good finisher. He holds the ball well. He will be the centre forward for England in 2022. In terms of his cards, you can pick them up relatively cheap still. Do you opt for World Cup? Do you opt for his rookie cards, which are from Topps Premier League? Really difficult decision. I still think whatever you buy for Kane, it's a gamble, to be honest with you. People, because of the age factor, people just don't seem interested in Harry Kane's cards. So personally, I wouldn't go putting all my money in Harry Kane. On the left side and the right side, so on the left side, I've gone for Marcus Rashford. I have to do that. Anyone that's listened to my podcast knows how much I think of Marcus Rashford. I've compared him to Mbappe. He's been disappointing, if I'm honest, since the Premier League restart. He doesn't look fit. His first touch isn't there. But nonetheless, the guy's an incredible talent, and I think he'll become one of the world greats over the next 10 years. He has to start for me. He's brilliant for Manchester United, and he just pips one other player to that position. In terms of his cards, these are your options right here. I've actually done a post on this on Instagram looking at the different options for Marcus Rashford. So as you can see here, number 1 and 4 are from the Panini Select, which display Marcus Rashford in the England shirt. Number 1 in particular seems to be really popular, with a lot of people preferring the international look. In my opinion, it's number 2. That's the actual rookie, or my preferred rookie, I should say. That's from the Topps Premier Gold set. It's actually not the earliest card. The earliest card is number 3, which is from the Stadium Club. It was released a few weeks before the others, but nonetheless, any 4 of these cards are pretty cool and would be an early Marcus Rashford card. And finally, I'm sure you're all wondering who's going to get the last spot in my starting 11, Jadon Sancho or Raheem Sterling. In my opinion, I would opt for Raheem Sterling at the moment, just because I think he's a more complete player than Jadon Sancho. That's not to say I don't think Sancho will play a big part in any England squad if they're going to be successful, in the same respects that the likes of Mason Greenwood, Jack Grealish, who also haven't made the starting 11, will play a big impact. Now, in terms of soccer cards, Raheem Sterling for me is one of the most undervalued soccer cards out there. His 2018 Prism is one that I am buying in volume at the moment. I've been picking this up for £2 or £3 and less than that, in fact less than that, and for me, I think that's got the potential to blow up. In terms of Jadon Sancho, you've got the Topps Chrome of him at Dortmund. You've got the Topps Living Set card, which is really rare, hard to get hold of. I think there are about 200 of those. So they're rare, limited prints. That's something that I really would be looking at. And of course, you've got the rated rookie, the Panini Donruss Optic, which is another card I can see just going up in price, although they are quite expensive already. So Raheem Sterling gets the cut, first 11. Jadon Sancho, not quite there for me in my opinion, but like I say, I think he'll have a big impact on any England victory if they manage to do it at Qatar in 2022. Fingers crossed for that. Anyway, I hope you found it helpful today. I hope it's been interesting, insightful, gives you an idea of what else I'm buying, just some thoughts on cards and players from the England squad. As always, hit that subscribe and then you'll see when I upload the next video on the Football Stop channel. Cheers guys, take care, bye bye.